Okay, so to start drawing your light fixture, you're going to want to make sure you're drawing in the front view, and then you're going to go to create, and then make sure you're under the shapes icon, and then under spline select line. Okay, so in this front view, go ahead and draw an outline of kind of like the elevation of what you would want your light fixture to look like. Okay, so then in order to make this look curved and not so rigid and angular, go ahead. You can do one of two things. You can go to modify, and you can scroll down and make sure under line you have vertexes selected, and you can add more vertexes by clicking on the refine button. So the refine button will be under geometry. So if you want to make it more curved, you can do that. So once you add new vertexes, or you don't have to if you don't want to, go back to your select object icon, and then you can click on each vertex and then right click it and select Bezier, and then you can either pull on these, you'll have to select your move tool, so you can either modify it by moving it up and down or side to side to get your desired shape, and you can do that for each vertex. Okay, so once you have your desired shape, go ahead and turn on the snap toggle, and then you're going to also go to hierarchy, and you can adjust the pivot point, so make sure pivot is selected, and then press effect only, pivot only, and you can move that around to where you want the shape to rotate at. So I'll just kind of put it in the middle here, and then go back to modify, and then under modifier list select lathe. Okay, so then you'll see this line actually take shape. You can also increase the amount of segments if you would like to do that, and that would be under lathe, under parameters, this segment, and you can increase these segments to make it more linear or rigid, like that. And then under lathe, if you drop down this, if you press the drop down button and then go to axis, you can move this gizmo around to give it a different shape. Okay. So once you have the shape that you want, you can go back to the modifier list and then add a shell modifier to give it thickness. So you can give it inner thickness, you can give it outer thickness. You can also give it thickness by going back to line, selecting spline, then making sure that this show end result toggle is selected so you can still see the actual shape of the fixture. And then in your command panel, when you have the spline selected, you can scroll down to geometry, and then under geometry you can scroll down to outline, and where you have the measurement you can also play around with the thickness. Okay, and that's how you draw your light fixture.